In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can manage high inflation. Now, inflation across the world is very high right now, around the 8 to 10%, which means your money is reducing at a fast rate. So in this video, we will discuss how you can earn more and how you can spend less. But before we start, do click on the bell icon and subscribe to the channel. The first part is how do you earn more money? Now, there are multiple nuances to this. One is the market is right hot, so you're probably getting a few offers. And the question is, should you just switch your job just because of money? So say if someone's coming and offering you 20-25% more, should you just shift because of that? The answer is, in general, you shouldn't just shift because of money unless you're getting a better role or a better geography or a better function or a better profile. But given this environment, and if your long-term view is not to continue in this industry, say you want to study after 2 years, say you want to start your own business in 2 years, then if some company is giving you a sizable hike, say 30%, 40% from your current base, it might not be a bad idea to shift your job just for the sake of money. The other thing is, even if you don't want to switch a job, you can always build another source of side income. How do you do that? You can teach. You can teach class 10 students. You can teach class 12 students. You can teach in CAT coaching, GMAT coaching. You can do mentorship, interview preparation. There are many platforms that are available where you can give your time. If you give about 2 to 3 hours every weekend, you can easily make about 10 to 12,000 rupees every month. So consider that fairly seriously. The second part we will look at is how do you control your big fixed expenses. And when we look at fixed expenses, rent and housing is a very big expense. Now, if you stay in some of the big metros, Mumbai, Bombay, Delhi, your rent will be a huge part of your expenditure. So how do you look at it? One is ask yourself if you really need to stay in Mumbai, for example, because rent in Mumbai is very high. Or can you shift to even a Delhi, even a Bangalore, even a Hyderabad, even a Pune, or some of the other metros? This itself will save about 10 to 15,000 rupees every month for you. The second part you have to look at is which hustle or which suburb in the city do you need to look at? Do you really need to stay close to your office, or can you stay a little further away and travel a little more? You anyway won't be traveling 5 days a week. The other option is if your family stays in close by, can you shift to your family's house for some time? Can you move to a different city and stay with your family's house? Another very interesting option that is coming up is looking at these new age PGs that are coming up. You can stay as a paying guest, but it's not the olden stereotype which you have that the rooms are dirty, you're sharing rooms. These are like mini hotels. You have a good room, they're centralized facilities, and they're extremely affordable on the pocket. So you can also look at that from a staying perspective. The third is to look at your various monthly expenses and how can you control them or spend a little lesser. I'll talk from my experience in terms of some of the mistakes I have made and some of the learnings I've had. So first is the gym expense. Now, typically what happens is you will end up paying for the gym expense. And at least I used to think that if I pay for that, if I've paid that much money, I'll definitely go and visit the gym. It doesn't happen like that. I always prefer the natural air anyway, so I don't pay for the gym expense. It easily saves me between 25 to 50,000 rupees every year. So look at your gym expense. Are you really getting value from that? The second expense you have to look at is the various OTT expenses. Now, I used to have subscriptions for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hotstar, all the other subscription platforms I used to have, and it used to go into 7,000-8,000 rupees every month sometimes. So what I've done is I've bought one of these high-speed internet lines. I pay about 1,200-1,300 rupees every month, but all these subscription packages are included in that. I also take the mobile-friendly version, so it's much cheaper. Sometimes I even go for the SD version. I don't go for the HD version because it's only my phone. So this is one good way to also save money. The third is to look at your entertainment expense, the going out expense on a Friday night or a Saturday night. And at least I am a big fan of street food. I'm a big fan of the traditional places. So I'm not a very big fan of fancy places where you just go and spend 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 every night. I'm not a big fan of that. So when I go with friends once or twice a week, I typically like the traditional places, the more affordable places, the street food places where the experience is about the food and not so much about the real estate or the marble they have used on the floor. So that's how I would encourage you. Look at the places you're visiting. Not saying that you shouldn't visit a fancy place. You should, but maybe look at it once a month, once in a month and a half, only if there is an occasion that is slightly special. The last thing is actually two more points. The next thing is to look at public transport. Now, if you are staying in Mumbai and if you have to go from Andheri to South Bombay, if that's where your office is, you'll easily end up paying two and a half thousand every day just for Uber and Ola. Look at how you can optimize those expenses. Do you need to go every day? Can you use public transport? Can you share a cab? You can easily save up to 10,000-12,000 rupees every month. And finally, looking at your credit cards, how many credit cards you have. What the credit card companies do is each of them will come and sell you a promise. Take this credit card, it's giving you this benefit, that benefit. Now, when you have too many credit cards, it gets very difficult to track. There's so many membership fees, there are late payment fees because you're not able to track. You're constantly paying that and it becomes a complete mess. So just have one or at best two credit cards. So look at these 5 things in terms of your gym membership, your OTT subscription, in terms of your entertainment, in terms of your credit card, in terms of public transport, and you can definitely save about 5 to 10,000 rupees every month. So how else can you earn more money? How else can you save more money? Do drop your comments in the comments below and I'll try and respond to as many as I can. But as we come to the end of this video, do click on the bell icon and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take care.